It's hardly surprising that the Corydorus is one of the most popular freshwater fish in the aquarium hobby. There are so many different types, but my favourite is the Peppered Corydora. Hi, I'm Russ, and I've been in the aquarium hobby now for over 40 years, and today we're going to continue with the Rainbow Fish Tankmate series by looking at one of my favourite Corydorus in the hobby, and that's the Peppered Cory, also known as the Blue Leopard Cory and the Mottled Cory. They originate from the Paraná River basin and coastal rivers of Uruguay and Brazil, and they were actually discovered by Charles Darwin in the 1830s. Its IUCN status is listed as least concern, which is absolutely great news for the hobby. It grows to 6 to 7 centimetres, which is around about 2 to 3 inches in length. They are peaceful in nature, which means they make the perfect tank mate for rainbow fish, but also the perfect addition to any community aquarium. In the wild, the diet will consist of worms, insects, crustaceans and plant matter, so it's good to try and replicate that in home aquarium as much as possible by offering them live or frozen foods like bloodworm, cyclops, daphnia and brine shrimp, but also sinking pellets and good quality dried foods like the fluval bug bite range, and get some algae wafers as well, but also try and offer them foods like spinach and nettles, and you can get them to sink to the bottom. Corydorus will really appreciate that. Those type of foods are full of iron and are really good for the general health of your Corydora. They really are a social fish, and you'll often see them swimming around the aquarium together. So it's always good to have a minimum of 6 when you're stocking the aquarium. But they also mix with other cories as well, and they'll often shoal together and you get some brilliant displays from them. They really do add so much to the aquarium. Because they hang around the bottom part of the aquarium, they are really good at stirring up the detritus into the water column so it can be removed by a mechanical filtration. They are also known to nibble on a little bit of algae, but don't mistake them as being algae eaters, because they aren't really classed as that. As for tank size, when they're small, you probably get away with a smaller, say 16 gallon or 60 litre aquarium, around about 2 foot in length. But because of the size they grow to, you would have to look at moving them to a larger aquarium at some point. When you're setting up the aquarium, sand is preferred or a small gravel. I have mine with a small gravel, which some people do frown upon, but none of my Corydoras have ever lost any of the barbels due to them foraging. So I think a small gravel is fine. Some people will disagree with that though. One thing they can't disagree with though is Corydorus love a heavily planted aquarium. So plants not only offer your aquarium the ability to clean the water and to oxygenate the water, but they're also going to offer your Corydorus somewhere where they can retreat when they want a little bit of sanctuary. They also offer them great places to spawn, and we'll take a deeper look at breeding Corydorus later on in the video. As for lighting, the Peppered Corydorus has no specific requirements, but what I'd say is nothing too bright. One thing that makes them a great community fish is they will tolerate a wide range of water parameters. This is mainly due to them being captive bred, so they will take a wide range of pH, GH and KH, but one thing they are really sensitive to is temperature. They'll tolerate a temperature of 61 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 16 to 24 degrees Celsius. But when you start hitting the 80 degrees Fahrenheit, then they do start struggling. So just keep an eye on the temperature and keep the quality of your water maintained weekly. If you have made it this far through the video, can I please ask you just to click the like button and subscribe to the channel for further content. Thank you. You will often see Corydorus darting to the surface to take a gulp of air. Now they use that air to supplement what they would gain through passing it through the gills. This is a common behaviour of the Corydorus, but if you see them doing it too much, then just be careful, because it is an indication that your water quality could be off. To maintain good water quality, you do need to be doing frequent water changes. And these water changes can actually induce your Corydorus to spawn if they're done with a cold water. That sudden change in temperature makes the Corydorus think there's a change in seasons, and it will bring on the spawning behaviour, especially if you do the water change during an electrical storm. So if you are thinking of breeding your Corydorus, you need to know that you've got male and female. So the males tend to be a lot smaller than the females, and in proportion to the body length, the dorsal and pectoral fins are actually a lot longer than the females. If you've got a group of 6, then there's a good chance you will have male and females in that group. So once you've done the cold water change, and that change of temperature has induced the spawning behaviour, the male will then chase the female around the tank, and she will dart into some little hiding place. After a few minutes, he will find her, and he kind of shivers over her and sometimes will lie on top of her. And then when she's ready, they both enter what they call the T position, and he will fertilise the female, and she will then deposit eggs all over the aquarium, and they can lay 50 to 150 eggs. Now, Corydoras will or can eat their own eggs, so if you want to save the eggs, you're probably better off then removing the other Corydoras out of the tank. One thing they will not do though is eat their own fry. You will often see the female depositing eggs on the heaters, on the filters, and on the glass, and sometimes even in the plants. The incubation period for the eggs is 96 to 110 hours, which is 3 to 4 days approximately. Once the eggs have hatched, you can offer them a diet of infusoria, and after a few days they should be able to take foods like baby brine shrimp. A heavily planted aquarium will just let them fry, grow to a decent size in peace. There are other fish in the aquarium hobby that can live peacefully alongside your rainbow fish and your Corydorus, and one is really misunderstood in the aquarium hobby. It's actually seen as aggressive, when, to be honest, it isn't really. If you want to know what that is, then watch this video next, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.